Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you find me. But if you're here with me today, right now, it's definitely AM. Ah, that's not true. You could be in Italy, like some of our practitioners are. You could be anywhere. Welcome nonetheless, and sorry about the little bit of delay. Um, I'd love you guys to get a couple of props if you don't already have them. Make sure that you have these props nearby. Make sure if you're working with our playlist, which is from YIN Sunday, January 7th, link in the chat. So January 17th on my Spotify. And if you choose to work with the playlist, just have your device nearby. And we'll get started. We'll get it all sorted out. We're going to start on our back body. We're probably going to be there for a little bit, FYI, just to make sure that we take this practice easy. It's Sunday. I had a bit of a Saturday. And just want to create a practice that we can feel gratitude for softening down to. And a lot of stillness. Lying down on your back body, grab your device. And I'm going to count down the playlist for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Now you might have heard my exhale, but why don't you try and hear your exhale? So what you're doing here is just starting to find your breath, hear your breath, meet your breath. Keep your arms wide, step the soles of the feet to the mat, knees look up. Take an inhale here, and then slowly widen the knees open like a book to bring the soles of your feet together. Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Soften down. You can support your outer legs with your props if you need them. And then listen for your exhale. We're staying with this for a little longer. If you notice anything creeping up in the way of tempting movement, or if you're feeling a little bored with the quiet of your body, just look at that for a beat and then dive right back into your breath and the commitment and trust really to be still. Just about another minute of time. If you have support on the outside of your knees, you might feel inclined to get rid of that support and dive into more depth. Or not. Take your right hand to the outside of your right knee. Exhale all the breath here before you move. And then with your inhale breath, pick up that right leg only, right knee facing the sky. Land your right foot on the exhale. And on your next breath in, pick the right knee up towards your chest and interlock the fingers at your right shin. And then notice the inclination to pull and just rest your hands on your chin. And then out of this place, start to extend your left leg with the inside of your left foot more open to the sky. So you're still kind of externally rotating through the left hip. And then here, your exhale, that sweet little gesture of ease. For the last little bit of time, about a minute, let your knee, that right knee, kind of go a little more wide to the right side. It's almost like your right thigh area just kind of gets a little messy, like overflow. You're going to step your right foot down so that your right knee looks up. And then from that place with right knee looking up, you're going to open your right knee to the right side. So it's half Baddha Konasana. And then you're going to pick up your left knee into your chest. Interlock a little opposite grip here at the left shin and hang on rather than pull. And settle in to the gesture of sweetness and ease. There's no need to pull, there's no need to grip. You're just softening into this. And each time you notice that kind of temptation, it could be a literal outside force, right? Like that text message, those little dings. Could be our families. To do. And it can be boredom. A lot of boredom in yin. I want you to trust in the gesture of kindness and being gentle and still. Similarly to the other side, while keeping your right leg wide and open, slide your right leg down long so the inseam of the right leg and foot are more open to your sky. You keep that external rotation of your hip. You soften in your bum cheeks and you let it go. There's nothing to hold on to. And for the last minute or so of time, you can follow a little bit of the narrative or lean into the fact that your left leg is kind of lazy. And so there's a bit of here as it hangs a little wider to the left side of you. Take a big exhale, let that guy go. And then step the left sole of your foot down first onto the mat. And then slowly extend your left leg wide so the inseam of the left leg is more open to your sky too. And you can put your hands resting on your hip creases here. And just notice any space that gave way. Couple of big, delicious breaths here. Here for your exhale. I'm going to take one of your props, one of your blocks. You'll step the soles of your feet back onto the mat to sneak your bum up just enough to layer. We're going to start the layers of one prop underneath your sacrum. Putting your prop at its lowest height in prep of where we're going next. Ground through your lower back, right onto that block. You might shift your upper back up the length of your mat, and then lightly tuck your chin in so your neck feels a little more grounded too. I'm going to take a big inhale and get to the top of the inhale and hold your breath. Stay holding your breath. Extend both legs long. And then exhale, sigh. You should feel this kind of thrusting open of your pelvic floor right into the hip creases. And maybe a little something more in your lower back. We don't want pain. Nice generous sensation here. Taking advantage of your hands resting in and around your hip creases, maybe a little level up a bit, and then fill your belly to feel the lift of your hands and the space of the stretch inside of your belly. Breathing in. And take your second prop. Hold it in your hands as you bend both legs, stepping the soles of the feet to the mat. Ground here for a bit and just feel. And then for our second layer, sneak your bum up as you press into your feet. A little high so that you can sneak your second layer prop on top of that first layer. Maybe shift both these props a little bit up or down, whatever needs be, so that you can really ground the whole sacrum onto support of the blocks. You might again shift your upper back body up, a kind of little walk. Soften, hands to the rib cage. And just listen to your body. Be still. There's still something to hear here. For the last little bit of time, I want you to tee out your arms, palms open to our sky. Soften the back of the hands down and let your fingers relax. So there's a generous kind of natural curl. And take a big belly breath in. More and more breath in. And a little part of the jaw, the lips, exhale out. And just to offer a sweet little refresh through our kind of fundamental organs here across the pelvic floor and into the hips, I want you to kick up your legs so that you're getting into a kind of modified inversion. So a full inversion would be like a headstand or a handstand. And this is a way of getting a lot of the benefits of those kinds of inversions into your body here. So there's a new flush of energy, blood flow, oxygen. You're going to soften your legs, but they're mostly straight. They're just not straining too much. And we'll take about 5 to 10 more breaths. I'm not rushing it, but we don't stay here for quite as long. And for the last few breaths, just flex your feet, but try and also keep your legs mostly relaxed. So there's just that exercise of flexing the feet, heels towards our sky, toes point down. Breathe in and out. And then get out of the flex and point the toes and breathe in and out on that. Put your hands to your thighs, fingers look up at the knees and toes. Bend the legs slow. You might feel tingles here in our feet and our ankles. You might even feel a bit of heat. And then slide your hands up to your knees. Hang on to your knees with your fingers looking inward to the knees. And then kind of just hang on in a way that weights open the knees. So you're not necessarily pulling, but by hanging on here, your knees have no other choice but to open wide. Try and stay focused on being still, with the exception of anything that just slightly moves in gravity and space. And then try and stay focused to having delicious big breaths in and out so that you really feel your chest fill up and then drop down. Couple more breaths in this kind of a little bit halfway or a little bit mimicking happy baby. It's really just a lot of the same shape with a little add on. You can lift your fingers up so the fingers point up to the sky, hands on the outsides of the knees. Bring the knees in towards each other. Ooh. Slide the hands back on the thighs, fingers looking up to the knees. And then help push those thighs away from your heart so you set down the feet on the floor. Sigh it out. Sneak the bum just a little up. Slide only one prop out. So second layer is the first layer to be removed. Settle down. Sneak the bum up again. Slide the next layer out, which was the initial first layer. All layers removed, sacrum, bum to the floor, and then your legs just get nice and long and settled in a shavasana. If you're holding your legs in shavasana, it can be a very subtle thing to notice your hips just kind of externally rotate a little bit into resting down. That would be you letting go of the hold. A little flex of the feet so you're reaching your heels to the back of your mat. Firing up your legs a bit with that. Breathe in. Soften that flex. Breathe out. Both knees into chest. A little light squeeze and hug. With your hands onto your props, I just want you to be mindful of how you can mostly slide these props towards the back of your mat. Any amount, as much as you can slide them there. And then take your hands behind your knees and you're going to rock up, down, up, and down. Rock up, sit up. Slide your props one more time, a little more forward. And then we're going to have a little fun here. We're going to rock back. Most movement yet. And if you can manage to stand on your feet through the rock, forward, you can do that and stretch your arms overhead and then forward fold. Or you can help yourself up, stand up, arms high, breathe in. And then forward fold with a step between each feet, so feet are wider. Exhale. And then bend your legs pretty generously so that as you bend, your head hangs heavy. And then stand your props, those two blocks, up in front of your toes. and use your hands on those props to help your fold be at rest. And I want you to take all the exhales here to feel more softness in this fold. You can micro bend your legs a little bit more. You can rest your elbows like I'm doing on my props, your forearms there, and then help this kind of fold almost feel as good as resting, as good as easing. You're going to want to let your head drop. So there's a tuck of your chin here so that you're not trying to hold your head up. And as you show up to this, one breath at a time, deeper and deeper release will show up to you. So you might notice the pull into your neck and upper back body. And you might notice the grounding of your feet and the pickup of your sit bones to give space into the backs of your legs. Option to link for opposite elbows and add on that layer. That helps pull the back body torso more open and also echoes into your hips and legs. And then for the last minute or so, just a slight shift more forward into the feet, while still keeping your heels grounded. They don't take flight. And then just keep hearing your exhales. You're going to need them here. Last little bit of offering here might have flat hands to the floor. But notice anything that is trying to control the fold. Think release in the fold. Your next inhale, step your hands onto your prop. Do a little light halfway lift. Toe heel, heel toe your feet wider. Go as wide as to almost the edges of the mat. Put your heels in and your toes out. Your toes might hang off the mat, and then slowly bend the legs. Shift your butt a little right to left. Get into Malasana squat. And as you settle in Malasana squat, make this a little more restful. So what you could do is kind of just find this way of leaning into your squat. There's a little more round in your back body. And you might even rest your arms or your hands onto your props. And you might even tuck your chin in. Kind of humble your squat. Another breath or two as you slowly lift your head and then settle your props down flatter. To lean forward into the balls of the feet, pick up the heels a little bit to stand the bum up, and then set the heels up, down. You're going to bend your legs so your knees come to the floor. Bring your toes to touch. Get your knees wide. And just sit up tall, mostly tall, through the spine in a virasana. We call this hero's pose. And just feel your body receive the sit of hero. And with your shoelaces to the mat, toes touch, you're going to take one prop at a time underneath your hands and walk your prop and hands back. And start here by leaning into this. And I know it's common that a lot of us, especially in our colder spaces, get a few cramps in the feet. So you might need to step out for a bit, get back in, and try again. Also, cramps are a sign, FYI, of being a little dehydrated. So maybe we need to get more water at times. The cool thing about things not feeling right in your body is they're actually exactly right in your body at times. They're indicators into what we need to work on. And you can set yourself back all the way, or you can stay up. And if you set yourself back all the way, you're just going to want to lie down on your back body in this shape. If you're not getting cramps on your feet. Use your props as your props are needed to receive your back body. So you have to know that they can go at a few different heights. You can put both props at the same height. Or you might choose to have your head hang a little heavier and lower than your heart center. That's an option to get a nice opening across your throat body, into your neck body, and it might even invite a more kind of intense pull, opening of the center body in your sternum area. Try and let your heart be open, and especially so by widening your arms, and then quiet down to this. Hear for your exhales. Keep hearing for those guys. They're a little gateway into more ease. For the last minute and a half or so, you can switch the height of the block to a lower height if you feel a little more open in your body to do so. Or you can enjoy the ride of stillness here and do nothing but show up to your breath. Bring your hands to the outer kind of rib cage here. And just feel, grasp on, take a deep breath in. And a sigh, hum, ha out. You can hold on to your ankles, slip your hands in there, ground through the elbows, pick up your head. And then you can either hold on to your heels or feet or the outsides of your mat and push up just slow and steady through the center line so that you're not whacking out your spine too much. And lean forward to pick the weight off your heels. Curl your toes under and free your ankles and your feet. New energy, new oxygen, new blood flow. Kick your bum up in a kind of shorter down dog and just have a stretch any old way. Pedal out the feet, breathe in and out. And you're just going to walk your hands to your feet. Sit your bum down to your heels. Turn around to face your monitor from the middle of the mat. I'm facing camera. And we're going to step our feet pretty wide so that your toes maybe fan out just a bit. And it might take your butt off your mat, right? That's okay for a beat. And you're going to wag your knees left to right, right to left. Next time you get up to center, pause there, breathe in. And then wag to the right, breathe out. You're putting your left knee behind your right heel. And we've done a little variation of this week where we fold out towards the right foot. But this time I want you to walk your hands to the right and kind of fold the other way. So you're kind of aligned with the point of your right knee. You can layer your forearms under your forehead, or you can use your props and slip them underneath your heart and head. Yogi's choice. A little more than halfway through, you can extend your left leg long and just feel if it adds a little sweet something to the outer right hip. Inseam of the left leg and foot is mostly resting to the mat. Pick up your head, heart, push into the palms. Turn your heart towards those legs and feet. And then just pick up your knees wide, soles of the feet onto the mat. And lean back for a beat. Knees pointing up, center line, toes a little fanned out. Breathe in. And then drop both knees, window shield wipe to the left. Breathe out. You can bring your props with you if you need them. And instead of folding over the left ankle or in that direction, you're kind of walking your heart in a little twist. Face towards the left knee and then fold there. So your forearms will land onto the mat or prop your forearms onto your floor. And then you can just rest your forehead to your forearms, hands, or block. A little more than halfway through, you can extend the right leg. You can feel how that shifts a little more intensity on your outer left hip. Throw all your rest to the floor, to the mat. One deep breath in and out. Pick up your head. Press into your hands to stand up your torso. And turn around. Wag up both knees. And then take a lie down. You can always prop blocks underneath your thighs for a little lift into your Shavasana. Enjoy your Shavasana, this sweet Sunday Shavasana. Namaste.